go and see that. What kind of feature is this? But that's what sells. So you cannot diverse the reality from all our engineering thought process and say, no, this is what customer will demand, whatever he demands. But it is also we as an industry should train and let our salespeople do honest speak at the customer's premise. We don't do that. Let's be honest. We want numbers at the end of the day, right? So it's a as long as there is no volume, as long as there is desperation to earn your monthly salary, I think this industry will still go through this churn and process whatever Sri Ravi Shankar kind of talk we give from here. So the thing is, it's very simple. We need to put the facts before the customer and an honest set of facts, and we need to continuously educate the customer to put down specifications from a user perspective, not from an engineering perspective. Somebody pointed out very nicely there, 12 channel, 16 channel, this much minus 158 dBm sensitivity. Fantastic. Who is going to measure it and where? Nobody can measure it, even we cannot measure it. So I think we need to, as a consortium, we need to work together in such a way that we don't sit at each other's throat always by faking some specifications in. And I will tell you something, the government department is not at mistake. We are at the wrong side of things. We go and tell him, sir, please include this spec so that I am favored. Come on, in this room, how many of us who is in government business don't do it? We all do it, and we need to do it. Let's not be, we are in business. Otherwise, I'll be wearing a white this thing and I'll probably come in a BMW car. Now I came in that black and yellow taxi from the airport. I would have come in a BMW car if I was wearing that white thing and had a beard and talked all spiritual things, right? But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, let's be honest. Let's see what we are having. Everybody has a space, and we will compete with each other using some differentiated offerings. We will all get projects because there is less than 1% penetration. For the next 5 years, there is no worry about projects. We make GPS trackers. Somebody talked about standards and other things, right? I have gone through all this. I flew in from Pune. Last 2 days, I have been at ARAI doing radiated emission testing on a variety of products. And I'll tell you, there is enough and more standards. There is no requirement for additional standards. We have to understand that you have TCP/IP, means you have at that protocol layer. Now, do you expect Microsoft Excel to open up all its interfaces and show everything to everybody? Why should I, as a GPS manufacturer, need to open up my protocol to this one? What is the advantage I get? Because there is no big application provider who is going to take it. The moment there is an application provider, everybody will, fit into it. As of today, there is none. And as of today, it is premature to talk about a standardization which is at a protocol level, which is at an application level. It is not at the protocol level in terms of physical layer, data link layer, or even IP layer. We are talking much above that. It's an application proprietary thing. And not only that, forget the GPS, GPRMC. I don't even need it. I do most of my processing in-house. I calculate the velocity, I calculate the distance traveled, everything inside. Geofence is calculated inside the device. So there's a lot more between the application and the device than it meets the eye, right? So you can't just open it up and say that, then that's the trade secret. That's how I differentiate from, I compete with Dhruv, that's how I differentiate. And I need to continue to do it. Okay, so we do have a device, we manufacture it in India. And I will assure you, somebody was asking about capacity. I can manufacture 3,000 devices a day, but I am not getting 30 devices a day order. I can today manufacture 3,000 devices plus. There is absolutely no problem in manufacturing. There is absolutely no. Two things are limiting all Indian players. India runs on credit. 60-day credit. Nobody pays a single penny. And after supplying 60 days, I have to go polish his shoes to get my money on the 120th day. Give me a factual place where a proper SRS, I have been in the architecture group, I have led a global architecture group in Philips. I delivered the first HD TV out of Bangalore 3 weeks ahead of schedule. There was no problem because everything was written down. All we needed to do was check and do everything. There are very, very vague requirements in the tender and we all go in and submit it. And to get the money, we do all kinds of circus. Right? So, the point is that there are two things that, first of all, the user base is not big, so production capacity cannot be ramped up. Two, money is not there. Normally, box pushing means advance money. Please show me a user here who will pay 100% advance before I ship the box out of my factory. I will deliver whatever quantity he wants on day one. Nobody can give me that guarantee. So, first of all, I think the whole thing is related to the overall business climate and the business model in which we operate. There is no infinite cash, and 2 years back there is in vogue, there are many companies which are not there, and therefore their leaders are not with us today here. Give the box on rent, like a VCR box, which then there is nobody now on rental business anymore. You give the whole thing on rent. Consider that business model, how much capital you need in order to service that kind of a demand. If you give something free to the customer, he is willing to try out as much as he wants, right? So, I will skip this. You all know where it can be this thing. I just want 2 slides of importance for me and give me 3 to 4 minutes. I want to show here a paradox. On the left hand side is a value proposition, safety, service, cost, right? You will assume that safety, for example, human life or whatever it is at the highest, and just operational cost, saving a liter of petrol, maybe at the least, right? And the right hand, the horizontal axis, I have put the current running industry prices. I just categorize as low and high. There is about 30% difference in pricing between this segment and that segment. If you take a BPO or a corporate IT cab sector, then what happens? It's a safety issue for them. 4 or 5 people have been murdered in the last 2 years, right? Can there be anything more than this? No. Even today, the IT companies do not want to invest on this technology. They want the cab guy to go and buy this. Why would he buy it? Right? So, even though the value proposition is high, the cabs on the left hand side, it gives you the lowest possible price. If you make 200 to 300 bucks on a box, you are lucky after all your costs are accounted for. On the right hand side, you have this fire, healthcare and all those things and heavy equipment where you can command a certain premium price with some unique features, right? If your map is good, if your overall solution is good, you can command some premium on that. But the interesting thing is between these two groups, it is the same service expectation in terms of you have to be there when he complains, you have to solve it within the next 2 hours, right? Where is the money for that kind of a service level? Please think about it when you give the next quotation. This is important. Some people have captured or not. This tells a sad story. This industry in India is about 10, 12 years old, right? In 8 years before I came, I met some people here who were already there. The interesting thing is no single player has an all India presence today. There was a gentleman from army who was asking, how do you support him in Ladakh? Sorry, no support, on camel back only. We can track camels maybe. Right? Only 10% of the industry is more than 3 years old. Right? No one has a sustained pipeline of more than 5,000 per annum, including the industry leader. Sustained pipeline. Please raise your hands if you have. I would like to apply for a job in your company. Less than one handful has the full solution. 80% of the industry is trading. 15% are so-called system integrators. And 5% are original equipment manufacturers. And it's all our SSIs, so there are no big players. It's an opportunity. It also shows the dismal state of this industry. These are the challenges, and I'll go straight into the industry action. People talked about standards. I think we have to simply put ECE regulation 10 gives clear guidelines as to what you should put in a road vehicle. If our unit meets that, it's more than enough. There is no other standard required. Very, very clear. It is a guideline which gives what all other ISO and SAE standards we have to follow. Nothing else is required. And it's available for free download on the web. Okay? So you don't need to pay money. It's all available. And we are all tech savvy, so we can download it. But we also need in the service levels. Dell says 4 hours, next business day, or next week, or whatever it is. Very clear-cut offering in terms of service level plan if there is a problem. Do any of us do it? I think we should introspect that. Quality systems. I am an ISO 9001, 2008 certified, whatever, blah, blah. I am. As EI Labs, we are. But we've got a certification which clearly mentions telematics manufacture, supply and after-sales service. I got thrown out of one tender where my competitor had a ISO certification in finance, financial systems. Think about it. Pricing maturity, I think others will speak about this. I think it should be value-driven pricing. I think after this, if we can make an industry consortium, we can try and drive towards that. And I think we should compete through differentiation, right? Price wars do not help the customer also. Thank you.